I'm making a little wagon for the railway, and for this project I'm starting with a tree. Obviously it would have been much easier if I bought some timber from the woodyard, but it seemed like a nice challenge to start from scratch. This was going to be Gene next door's firewood, but he gave it to us in exchange for all the felling we did. This tree isn't exactly seasoned. We only cut it down a few weeks ago, but it was dead for a while before that, so it's not green either. It'll be interesting to see what happens to it as it dries out some more. I was thinking it's Leylandii, but it could be another sort of cypress. Either way, it cuts nicely enough, and I planed it to shape on my old kitty planer thicknesser. I'm going to need a few different designs of wagons for different jobs on the railway. This first one is the simplest. It's just a flat bed on wheels. I hope it will be useful for moving sacks and boxes around, but its first job will be to move some planks up to the drying tunnel. I'm using the joint that's traditional for this job, a simple half-lap joint. That's because these wagon frames were never built to be tight and rigid. They were deliberately designed to be slightly flexible. That way the wheels were more likely to stay on the tracks, even when the tracks were uneven and bumpy. This timber turned out to be surprisingly hard and close-grained. I was expecting something much more woolly. Now I'm looking forward to using it for some other projects too. No glue is used, of course. The whole thing is held together with a long bolt that runs from one end to the other. I checked for squareness and then fixed the braces.
What's she done?
A piece of plywood for the top would have been much easier and probably do a better job too, but I quite like these bars. Some wood preservative, and then 3 coats of paint. Meanwhile, I can get on with the bearings. This wagon won't be going fast and it won't be going far, and I can choose how much weight goes on it. so it seems like a good project to experiment with wooden bearing blocks. I'm using some beech wood I've had for years. It's full of ancient creosote because, coincidentally, it used to be a railway sleeper. You can buy old wooden railway sleepers here for making farm gate posts with. Usually they're pine, but occasionally you can find oak ones or beech ones or even mahogany ones. They're usually pretty ropey though, but I only need small pieces. I just squared them up and drilled some holes through them. I would have arranged for the axle to be running on the end grain, but my timber pieces didn't allow for that, so we'll see what happens. The little holes are for regular oiling. The idea is I can oil from above, but it should fall through to the axle. You'll see in a minute. Then I put lots of diesel on them. I'm sure someone will tell me what I should be using instead, but this is just to get the wood oily again. I'll use thicker oil once they're in use. This design isn't traditional, I think, but it might work anyway. The vertical pipes hold the block in place and also provide the forward-backward stops for the axle at the same time. I know there are plenty of other ways to do this, but I thought this would be simple and very strong. Probably I should have made a half round for the axle to sit in, but it will wear a half round groove into the block soon enough, surely, so I didn't bother. I've allowed plenty of room for wear, and these could be replaced easily enough if necessary. What I don't know, of course, is how well they're going to function. How much friction will they generate? How quickly will they wear out? How much weight can they take before it's too difficult to push the wagon? Obviously they're not as smooth running as bronze bushings or ball bearings, but they'll carry something, won't they? And of course, they're very cheap. I haven't worked out how I might couple my wagons together yet, so I might change these later, but for now it'll be a pin through a hole. Using the through bolt to fix the brackets is a way to ensure that when you're pulling a heavy load, the forces run right through to the other end and you don't just pull the front end off your wagon. Don't want that. I made some corner brackets as well. They're not traditional either, and I'm not sure they're needed, but they probably won't do any harm. Right then, I know it doesn't have any brakes or buffers, but it might just work anyway. Let's find out. Okay, all aboard.
All aboard. Giddy up.
Right.
Off we go. Giddy up.
I don't have a locomotive yet, so
Giddy up, you
I'll
say.
just have to push.
Not like a horse then. Giddy up. Oh.
Ooh.
Good.
See, the problem is you're not heavy enough really for a proper test.
Not heavy enough.
Yeah, I
Just
wish
have
you were
to
heavier.
feed me more cake, Tim.
Would you have a go at pushing me?
All right then.
I like it.